Okay, what's up, everybody? We are doing part two of someone that's been one of our top podcasts in the history of the show. So I'm super excited today. This podcast, I think, is going to be a lot different from the first one we did, and we'll explain why in a second. But we've got the one, the only Melissa Romiza coming on for the second time. Thanks for joining us again, Melissa.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. She's been blitzing like crazy, and it's an honor to have her take a little break from the blitz. We actually had this scheduled last week, but she got COVID. Sounds like a bunch of your top producers got COVID, but you guys are feeling a little better, right, Melissa? Everyone back
Way
at it.
better. Way better. Yeah, it took us out for like a full week. I didn't think it was even still around.
I know. I'm like that still exists. Um, yeah, it can be crazy stuff. But yeah, so we were just talking before we hit record, Melissa. The first podcast we did together, you were just pretty much pure sales mode. I think you were doing like 300 accounts a year at the time, getting multiple golden doors every year. And so the way you do things, it's shifted a little bit. You're talking about how your role has shifted a little bit, and you guys are now like a full blitz team. You're blitzing what every 2 weeks, is that right? two
Yeah,
weeks a
two
month.
weeks on, 2 weeks off. Well, we have multiple teams. So, like, as soon as my main team is the collective, as soon as the collective leaves, True South comes in right behind us in Texas. And then while their blitz is going, we have another blitz going in California. So, there's a blitz going at all times for us.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a shift, because yeah, the first podcast we did, you were pretty against blitzing. You're like, nah, I don't see a point to blitz. I'm just going to stay in my market, throwing on tons of accounts. So yeah, I guess the first question is, what got you to change that thinking, Melissa? Was it you just finally decided to experiment, or how did you go from just not being a proponent, now you're all in on blitzing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, and I think anyone in solar can agree to this, but like the markets are changing. Like certain markets are getting better than others, and the product offerings are changing too. Like I know even in California that like over the last year, you guys have had like virtual power plants and things like that, and we saw those products start to come to like markets like California and Texas, but in Colorado, like we're seeing like prices barely change for the consumer, and the cost of solar just way surpassing that with dealer fees massively going up, interest rates going up, and we were already selling above the bill. PPAs didn't make a ton of sense because like you could max sell a PPA at like 14 cents. So it was like trying to make it make sense for people and watching a lot of our guys, try out other markets. It's like, why wouldn't we not be a team that is open to that? So we were one of the first companies that got access to the Soulright product down in Texas. And it was a complete, like, even how the Blitz model started, like, we can rewind a little bit because that's not even how it started. We had a huge hailstorm in Colorado, like the largest hailstorm we had ever had in 30 years. And at the time, I'd had a lot of people listening to your podcast and other podcasts I was on, like girls all over the United States that just wanted to come out and learn. And I was like, yeah, fly out. You can come out for like 2 weeks. I have a couple houses. You can stay in my house, come learn, go home. Well, I had three girls coming out, two from Florida, one from Missouri, and this hailstorm hit like 3 days before they came out. And my team is like in shambles. They were like, dude, no one's going to care about solar right now. Like, roofs are destroyed, cars are destroyed, like, hail the size of softballs going through windshields. And I took it and I was like, dude, this is amazing. Like, this is the best thing ever. We're going to run a roofing and solar blitz. Like, this is the best thing that could have happened to us because everybody needs their roof done. And then we can come in right behind it and couple it with solar. And that's how it all kind of started. Is it started as a roofing and solar blitz, and we sold 56 deals with 3 days to put together a blitz. And that's when we were like, dang, we should really consider doing this
Yeah.
more. So we were still in Colorado and we were blitzing in Colorado, but that's when we got access to the Soulright product. And we were like, let's just test it out, right? Like, it doesn't hurt to go anywhere for 2 weeks. And we had sold like 800 kilowatts, and, we sold 76 deals. And we were like, all right, maybe this is the move.
Wow. Yeah, numbers speak. You're like, all right, not many deals, tough to deny anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. And how long ago was that? Like 2 years?
So we had our first blitz. Oh God, it's September now. So our first blitz was May of 2024. So it's been a year and 3 months ago, 4 months ago. And then our first Texas blitz was 11 months ago.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll definitely talk about this. You gave a presentation, I think it was door to door con, right, Melissa,
Mhm.
where you talked about the Blitz, yeah. And yeah, that was probably the most dialed presentation I've heard on blitzing, like how you organize it, all the things you do beforehand, and it changed my whole perspective on blitzes. So I want to get in a little bit on those things. But before that, I want to ask, so in the beginning, were you selling the whole time? You weren't really the one, or you were also in the trenches selling during the blitzes and all that?
Yeah.
Um,
No, when we first started, I was selling. I was selling a lot. I was still at the top of the leaderboard when we first started.
okay. And then how long before you kind of transitioned to more doing the recruiting and like the more the admin stuff?
It was more when we got to Texas, and that's because like, and I don't even want to use this as like a, I don't know. When we were in Colorado, like we were using my housing, so like if something went wrong, like I was the person to talk to, and then you rent 4 houses for Airbnbs, and I could tell you some wild stories of like the
Yeah.
Airbnbs we've had, but like you have problems with the house, you have problems with the plumbing, like I have to make sure that that happens so my guys can like shower and eat and bathe and sleep, and the electricity's going out and rats are in the house. Like we have
Oh my
had some
gosh.
crazy stories,
Wow.
like and then yeah, I'm the one who has to like recruit everybody in and make sure everyone has a place to stay. All of that stuff is organized. So once we got to Texas is when I really shifted. I had been a VP with the company for a while, but I really wanted to prove like I still had what it took when I switched companies. So I was selling like 20 to 30 accounts a month. And then, the focus really needed to be on recruiting, because for a blitz model, like you really got to be good at recruiting because people come and go all the time. Some people just want to do one blitz and then you got to replace them. So it's a constant game of recruiting, and it's arguably like more work than selling. Selling when you have setters,
Yeah.
it's just like I have appointments, I have appointments, I have appointments. When you're a recruiter, you don't have appointments on your calendar. You have to like create those receipts, make people interested in what you're doing, and really get them to buy into it. So it takes time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'm in it right now down in San Diego. We got a couple solid setters, and most days my appointments are pretty filled up during the day. And it's like I don't have to think about anything. I just wake up, look at the calendar, go to the appointments, and that's it. When when you're busy closing deals, but it's true when you're trying to recruit, you gotta. And I see you're making posts on social media. I'm sure you're hopping on calls with people all the time, and then on top of that, trying to organize everything. So yeah, just the level of organization and all that seems like a lot. Did you consider yourself like a pretty organized person and like pretty systems oriented person before all this, or is this something you've had to like learn more as you've done all these blitzes?
No, I wasn't organized because like besides like my customers and my appointments, like I didn't really need to be organized, right? Like you have a calendar, you follow the calendar, you have a CRM, you follow CRM, and like everything's kind of organized for you. Blitzing is a whole different animal, and that's why we have like 6 leaders, because I cannot do this alone. Like there is no way I could sustain a blitz model by myself, and some of our leaders are way more organized than others, and they've helped put the systems in place, and I just make sure everything is in the proper bucket. And because of that, like everybody has visibility, everyone can see what's going on, all the way down to like our expenses, who's coming in, what phone calls we've been on, how long ago they showed interest. Like we have a whole spreadsheet that shows everything from like rep's name, did they commit, what's their phone number, what's their email, what's their position, how long have they been in solar, why are they looking, how many blitzes have they been on with us, what was their sales at the end of last blitz, what did they end up with the net sales, how can we improve their sales, who recruited them. So we have like a master sheet, and we've just gotten more and more organized since we started, because you don't realize what you're missing until something goes wrong, and that's when you're like, we need to change that, we need to adjust it. So going from the first blitz to our blitzes now is like day and night.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, and like I was saying before, I thought I was doing blitzes pretty good, but then I see like the level you guys have, organization. I'm like, man, this is just next level. Some of the things you guys are doing. So, what were some of like the biggest? I know you said you had some Airbnb issues, and yeah, I remember you telling some other kind of crazy stories in the presentation you gave. But what do you feel like were maybe some of the bigger mistakes you guys were making in the beginning, or I don't know, stories of stuff that that went wrong in the beginning that you guys had to learn from?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is like we didn't really have rules or like core values when we first started. Like it was just like lead from the front. That was like our core value was just lead from the front. And
Yeah,
that caused an issue because then people would be like partying and doing shit that they shouldn't be doing on a blitz and setting the wrong example for people that weren't producing. And they're
yeah,
like, well, I'm producing. Like, it shouldn't be a problem if I smoke weed on the porch, or it shouldn't be a problem if I come home drunk as long as I can still work the next day and put up sales. And we're like, no, that's a problem. Like, you're here for 2 weeks. We're providing your housing. Like, we need you to like be sharp. And we didn't have rules. So then we started implementing rules and we started handing those out before the blitz and then at the beginning of the blitz. And like, we made people like recite them back to us. So we knew they knew them. And if they broke them, they knew that they broke them and we'd send them home. Like we have a one strike policy on our blitzes. Like you break the rules, you go home. Like we just don't have a tolerance for it, you know?
yeah,
Um, so I mean that's happened. I think there's been so many mistakes. I don't even know where to start. Like letting some things linger for too long and not addressing it fast enough, you know, like waiting till the end of the blitz thinking like it's something that can wait till the end of the blitz and like, you know, we've had people sexually harass people, we've had some crazy stuff, you know, it's like it's not all rainbows and sunshine, you know, and I think that's something that you probably see too is you see all these people that are like throwing down on social media like, oh, everything's going so good for them, and it's like you don't see all the shit that they deal with to be posting that stuff, right? Like
right, yeah,
so we've dealt with some crazy stuff, and then Airbnb hosts, like wow, we've had some crazy issues with like we had I think one of the worst ones ever we had is we had our guys in a house that had mold and we didn't know. And all of our guys got sick. And we went to the house. We started pulling off like vents off the walls, and there's just like mold in their system. And we're messaging the host. We're like, "Hey, like, you got to get us out of here, or you need to refund us." And I'm the one who has to deal with this, right? Like, I got to move everybody's stuff out. Like, you guys go knock. Like, let me figure this out. Got to figure everything out. And they're like, "Okay, we have another house. We're gonna move you 30 minutes away." We're like, "All right, whatever. Like, just get us the house. Like, it's the quickest thing we can get into." We get to that house, and then they hit us up 2 days later, and they told us, hey, we have a group that actually wants to rent this house longer than when you guys are going to be here, and they're willing to pay us more. We need you to get out. And I'm like,
what?
you've got to be kidding me.
Oh my
Like,
gosh,
what? So we had to move out of that house, cram everybody into our Airbnbs. We've had that happen. We had one house in Dallas that had rats,
yeah,
like big rats, not mice,
oh
rats.
my gosh,
And it was the girl's house too. It wasn't the
okay,
boys'
yeah,
house. It was the girl's house. And there's like rat shit. And I'm trying to like clean the house before everyone gets there. There's like rat piss on the blankets, like calling a pest control company, got to meet with the pest guy, trying to trap all of them in the attic so we can catch them and get rid of them. And we had dogs at the house. They're putting poison outside of the house, and it looks like there's a bunch of drunk rats walking around. And I'm just like, dude, what are we like? What is going on? And like, granted, we've had some really, really nice Airbnbs. Like, we've found doing this, like, we've gotten better and better, like, to build relationships with hosts and like also negotiate. Most people don't know how to negotiate on Airbnb, but you can negotiate. So, we've negotiated our pricing down a lot, and we found like our last splits we were all in $1 million homes on the water.
wow,
And you know, the hosts, no one was staying in their housing because they bought it as an investment because they're right on the water. It's supposed to be like a resort here soon, but
yeah,
construction got pushed back, so they rented them to us for like next to nothing. And all of us were next door neighbors in these 3-story homes that were amazing. So, you know,
wow,
there's great stories about Airbnb, and then there's like some really shitty ones. And same with
yeah,
VRBO. Like we've learned a lot. Reverse image
wow,
searching to find other websites to get it for cheaper. That's a hack right there. So like
wow,
hack one is like negotiate with your host. Say, hey, this house is beautiful. It matches everything that we want. We're going here for a work trip. You're just a little bit above our budget. Is there wiggle room on the price? And most times, if it's not a property management company, like they'll work with you on the price, which most people don't know. They just book an Airbnb. You can negotiate with these people.
yeah,
Um, I'd say that's one. And then two, finding a host that owns multiple properties in the area and negotiating with them and building a relationship with them,
yeah.
and reverse image searching and finding it off of Airbnb.
Oh, that's fire. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Hopefully, not a ton of people. Hopefully, outside of solar, not a ton of people are listening because I don't know if you knew this, but we do Airbnb with my. We have like our little casita place at my place. So, watch everyone's gonna start haggling me on price after they listen to this podcast
Yeah,
for
I mean,
Airbnb.
if you're gonna rent 3 properties, why would they not work with you? And you're gonna stay for two and a
Yeah,
half weeks. You know, it's
yeah,
like, all right, yeah, I'll drop the price $600. It's like sweet, or drop whatever fee that you didn't like. You know, I feel like
Yeah.
it's still a huge win for the Airbnb hosts because we're still spending like $15,000 with them for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
so they're still winning.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point. So do you guys pretty much book the same? You try to book the same Airbnbs now? You kind of have your list of ones you've liked and you try to book those every time, or is it still you got to work with a lot of different hosts?
It really depends on how much area you have. So, like our last one, we had a lot of area, the really nice ones. Like we were like, cool, we can hit the west, then we can hit the north, and then we can hit the east. So we can get 3 blitzes out of this. But some Airbnbs, like you go there and you're like, dude, this shit is beaten to the ground. Lots of credit fails. Like we don't want to come back. So for some areas, yes, we have our hosts, and we've gotten them off of Airbnb to like get rid of the Airbnb fees. The host loves it because they get to make a bit more money. Um, and so, yes, but we don't stay in the same area because blitzing is all about like testing out different parts of the market. But we do have like a couple that are like our go tos, and we'll just rotate them. Like next year, like we know what areas we want to go back to, what houses were nice, what areas were good, what hosts were good to us. They didn't try any funny stuff because we've had some hosts that try to charge us like thousands of dollars after the fact. And we're like, you've got to be kidding me. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean that
Yeah.
there was a drop of water on your floor and you want to charge me $2,000 for raised laminate? Like, there's stuff
Yeah.
like that too.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that's the easiest way I can explain it. But blitzing, the markets change, they shift, and that's the biggest thing is you have to be adaptable. You have to be ready to like change on the fly.
Yeah. 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 Would you say it's pretty important you guys try to get kind of nicer Airbnbs? And that's something that's, I don't know, attracts people to come back and everything. Cause some people organize these blitzes and they get Airbnbs that are just like, maybe they're not like a mess or whatever, but we just stayed in one in Northern California where the outside was pretty. The inside was all right, but the outside, it definitely looked like the ghetto and stuff like that. And sometimes people are like, "Oh, this sucks. I don't want to be back here." So, would you say it's pretty important to get like nicer Airbnbs that people are like happy to hang out with, or do you guys just kind of have your budget, stick to that, or what would you say?
I think bathrooms are the biggest thing. Like having enough bathrooms for everyone, I think is the most important thing that I've noticed. Like we do feedback forms at the end of every blitz, and we ask for feedback on every single blitz on how we can improve. And some people ask for some ridiculous shit, right? Like I want my house to have mosquito zappers outside and bug spray with my own bathroom and bedroom on the water. And you're like, yeah, I wish I could give that to you.
Yeah,
But the biggest feedback that we have seen out of every single blitz that we've ran has been bathrooms, is having enough bathroom space for everyone. So I'd say that's probably one of the most important things. And obviously sticking to a budget, but like don't put your guys in a shitty place. Like pay attention to reviews. Reverse image searching helps you because on other websites they might have other images that you're not seeing on Airbnb or on VRBO to like get an idea of where the house is. But I don't think you have to get like the nicest house. I think as long as your guys have beds and they have bathrooms, and they're comfortable and you're not putting people on floors and couches, I think that's the most important thing.
yeah, okay. And what about have you guys ran blitzes from like hotels, or has it always been Airbnb only?
Always Airbnb. I mean, you can do hotels, but there's a couple things that you risk, right, doing a hotel. And for us, like we run a tight ship. Like we might not be the right fit for everyone, and we know that. But like we want to make sure our guys aren't like trashing the hotel rooms or coming back wasted or bringing girls back or like doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, right? And like we have a manager in every house to keep a pretty tight pulse on that. But like if we got them hotels, we wouldn't know. Also, hotels are a bit more expensive, so like to keep things in budget, we found that Airbnb is the most budget friendly thing for us. So no, we've never done hotels. We feel like we have more control with an Airbnb, and we run a tight ship. Like we don't want people doing stuff they're not supposed to. You give reps an inch, they take a mile. As
Yeah,
much as you want to believe that they won't, they do. They do stuff they're not supposed to, and like we're not here to play around. We're here to work, and if you're not here to work, you're gonna go home.
yeah, yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, definitely gonna attract better quality people having it like that. I think sometimes people are afraid, oh, we're gonna lose out on a bunch of reps by having rules and like higher qualifications and all that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's especially where you guys keep doing it, probably causes way less headaches in the long run. And yeah, I mean, results speak for themselves. So obviously, a lot of things you guys are doing right. And then do you just divide up? Is it just like different Airbnbs for all the girls, and then guys are in different Airbnbs, or how do you divide it when there's lots of girls coming and stuff?
Yeah, so girls get their own, like we'll put all the girls in one room. We'll never make girls and boys share a space. We don't like put all the girls in one house because we've noticed like if you put a bunch of girls in a house, sometimes there's a lot of gossip. So we like to
Yeah.
split it up. But there's like a lot of things when you're putting together housing that you need to pay attention to. Like this blitz, we have 5 dogs on the blitz, but we have 2 people that are allergic to dogs. So like I need to
Mm,
separate those 2 people that are allergic from the other dogs, and then I have to make sure I have dog friendly Airbnbs.
mm,
So there's like certain things that you need to like pay attention to, and like some people snore so bad, and you need to like make sure those people have their own space and own room. You can't
yeah.
make everybody else, suffer because of them. So it's like the more you get to know your reps, like you understand like what's a good situation for them and what's not. And as much as you're like, maybe this guy didn't produce and he snores, it's like he still needs his own room because I can't put him in my top producer's room. Like they're
Yeah.
not gonna sleep, and that's a whole other thing. So I'd say housing and car groups is like an art, to make sure people are comfortable and they want to continue to come back, because one wrong choice on housing can make people have a really terrible experience and not want to come back at all.
Yeah. So how do you find out if people snore? Do they have to fill that out on the questionnaire before they come? Like if
You
they
find out
snore or
after
something?
night one. Yeah, you'll
Okay.
find out after night one. But some people will like call you. Like they don't like to tell you that, but they'll like call you in confidence, like, hey, like this is really embarrassing, but like I snore really bad. And you're like, hey, dude, no worries. Thank you so much for telling me beforehand. Like, I want to make sure like you have a comfortable place to sleep. Like, we're not disturbing other people. But like one guy didn't want to tell us at all. And I had him in a room with 3 other guys. And like we have like a group Snapchat. And like in
Yeah.
the group Snapchat, you just hear like a choo choo train in the room. And I'm like, geez Louise, like, what are we going to do? So we had to like move him to another house and like flip some stuff around right at the beginning of the blitz. But I think as long as like you handle it really fast and, you know, you have understanding reps, it works. And at the end of the day, like we're paying for their housing, we pay for their food. Like you got to be flexible with us. And I think that's an expectation we set at the beginning too, is like, hey, this isn't going to be perfect. We're going to figure this out as a team.
Yeah.
Um, but now we've got it down. Like I haven't had to move somebody's room in 8 months, it's
That's
been a
good.
while.
Yeah. I wonder if that's a hack. Some people are like, oh, if I tell them I'm snoring, I'm going to get like my own room in the nicer place. So they
Yeah,
like,
they might. And then if they don't perform, then next blitz, you probably just won't come,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or pay for your own hotel room.
Yeah. Exactly. So if people come on a blitz, what do they need to expect? Is it like certain door count, certain appointments, certain number of deals closed? What are like the metrics you put in place for people coming on the blitzes?
Yeah, so we have a daily metric that needs to be met, which is either it's kind of like a this or that. So either 50 doors, 2 leads, 1 sit, or 1 sale. You need to hit one of those metrics every day. And if we notice multiple days in a row that you're not hitting it, like 2 or 3 days, we'll sit you down. And then if you don't hit it again, we just send you home. We're just like, see you later, dude. It should be very easy to hit one of those metrics. We've all agreed as a leadership team, like 50 doors isn't even that crazy. Like Taylor, I think you've probably seen guys that do like 100 to 150 doors in a day. I
Yeah.
know in
Yeah.
California, 100 doors is like normal.
Yeah.
Um, so like if they can't hit that, it's probably just not a good fit. Like I'm not going to pay for your food and your stay. And then as to continue coming back, 2 sales. Like you need to have 2 sales. Um, or like maybe they had a couple credit fails, but we want to really just see that the effort's there every single day. But 2 sales also tells us like, do we want this person back? Do we not want this person back? Like that's the metric that we put out. If somebody doesn't hit those 2 sales, but we see like their effort is like at the top of the leaderboard every day, like that person's worth pouring into and helping, because everyone has a different runway.
Yeah.
But if they're not hitting their 2 sales and they're not hitting the metric, like I'm sorry, dude, I'm not bringing you back. Like it's probably not a good fit. You probably should try to sell something else because solar's probably not it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any success stories of people where, yeah, maybe you do see the efforts there, but it took them longer to start seeing results? Because, yeah, I've had some guys like that on our teams over the years, and sometimes they turn around, but I've just sometimes I have a hard time figuring out like what do these people actually need. They're putting in the doors, but for whatever reason, I can't get them to over the edge where they're getting consistent appointments. So do you guys have any system, anything you do that's or any stories where you've like done some things that have helped these people out to start having results where they were really slow at first?
Yeah, I mean, it's we had this kid come out, and I call him a kid because he like had graduated high school, and the week after graduation came on our blitz, and he like kind of snuck on my blitz because I normally don't take people that haven't sold solar. But
Hmm.
he told me he knew one of the leaders on my other blitz team, and I was like, ah, Jacob's really good friends with his dad. Like, I got to give this kid a shot. And he's like a child, 18, like, doesn't even know how to cook eggs and bacon for breakfast.
Yeah.
And he came out in his first week. He really struggled, but he was like the only guy that like didn't ask to move his hood. He was putting in like 50 to 125 doors a day. And his first week, like he got his teeth kicked in like pretty hard. And then what happened is like we didn't even have to have the leaders go out with him. Like our vets like banded together and saw that he was like a child, and they're like, "Dude, we got to help this kid. We got to show him that this is life changing. We got to make sure he doesn't go to college." And so they they started helping him out, and he ended the blitz with 3 sales. But like his first week, he had gotten the cops called on him. He had been screamed at. He had 0 results. He had no appointments his first 2 days at all, just not even an appointment. And he had the script memorized. Like we gave him a script. He was one of the only guys that came in. He knew it verbatim. And it took a little bit to see the results. Now he's like one of our like top performers every single blitz. He's 18 years old, and he gets like 3 to 4 sales sometimes, like every single blitz. And he's only been on like 3, which to
Mm.
us, like that's huge. And then we have another girl, her name's Brittany, and she is like she has always been at the top of our leaderboard, but it takes her, like, she's a fourth quarter hitter. Like, she puts in the results, she's getting the appointments, but it takes her a little bit to get the sales. And we normally see, like, the last 4 days of the blitz, she's getting, like, 2 same days to, like, 2 sales a day. So she'll
Mm.
end every blitz with, like, anywhere from 6 to 9 deals. And she doesn't see her first deal till the second week into the blitz. And
Wow.
for a lot of people, that's, like, pretty demoralizing. Like,
Yeah.
they're in the first week and they're like, dude, I have had one sit, no sales, what am I doing wrong, right? And like she just like has such a positive mindset because she knows that she now knows she's a fourth quarter hitter. Her first blitz, it really messed up her head. She had to like take a whole day off because she was beating herself up. She was at the house. She didn't know what was going wrong. She's like, I'm working so hard. Like I'm doing everything you guys are telling me. I'm checking my numbers. I'm, choosing my door the night before. I know exactly where I'm going. I have my clothes laid out. Like I have my breakfast made. Like I'm doing everything. Like, I'm making sure I'm doing proper planning. I'm doing everything. Why am I not seeing the results? And I had to sit down with her one night and talk to her about like runways. Like every sales rep has a different runway. And I was one of those reps as well that I wasn't good at this when I started. Like everybody sees all my awards and they just immediately think like I was good at door to door when I started. And it took me 3 months to get my first sale that stuck.
Yeah.
And most people would quit. Most people wouldn't have the money to continue going on because they need to get paid.
Right.
Um, so yeah, we've seen that. And I think the biggest thing for them is like they got help. They went out with top performers and like the team banded like together to like make sure those people didn't just continue bashing their face against the wall. And if you're on a team where you're putting in a ton of effort and no one sees that and is willing to go out with you, go ask. And if you don't ask, then like the only person you can look at and be upset with is yourself because you're not willing to ask for help. You're going to suffer in
Yeah.
silence.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fire. And those people, yeah, it's way easier to help. But yeah, I mean, the ones that don't ask, the ones that the effort's not there. Yeah, you're right. It's like those people you just gotta pretty much send a different direction. They're not gonna take initiative and not gonna put in the effort. But no, that's cool to hear about that. And then you said car groups. So how many do people generally bring, like drive to these blitzes, or most people fly in? And then how many people are going in like a car group in general with you guys?
So that varies per blitz. So we do have a couple people that do drive, but a lot of people do fly in. So when people fly in, we have airport pickup for them at 1, 3, 5, and 7 p.m. the day they get in. Everyone flies in the same day.
Okay.
And then usually, if a car can fit 5 people, like we do have 5 people per car. But what we do is there's a car leader, and then underneath their car, they have at least one closer and one leader who is also responsible for that car group to help people get out to hood. On really hot days, like here in Texas, it'll get up to like 100 degrees, and it's like a sticky,
Yeah.
thick hot.
Yeah.
So they'll also help make sure they get an AC break and a bathroom break. So like, yes, there's one head car leader, but there's 2 other people that are responsible for that car group. And then you do have to like try to organize your car groups that they're all in the same house. And then also area wise, you want to make sure that that car group is super, super close. So no one's driving 15 minutes this way, 15 minutes that way, so that way the car group leader isn't getting to hood like an hour later than everyone else. So
Yeah.
I'd say that that's something that took us a little bit, is like making sure we're organizing area correctly and housing correctly for car groups. And then we usually have about 4 car groups per blitz to as much as 7 car groups, depending on how many people we have on a blitz.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And are people driving our areas, kind of like within half an hour of the Airbnb, or do you guys have people driving like an hour to different areas? You generally able to keep it all kind of close to Airbnb, or how does that?
Normally, yes, but like this blitz, for example, like we had a couple blitzes where they've had to go 40 minutes. What we'll do is we'll start the guys as far as possible away from the Airbnb. And then as people need new area, new hoods, we'll move them closer and closer to the Airbnb. So now the guys, we're in the second half of this blitz, they're 20 minutes from the Airbnb now. So they're
Okay.
super close. You don't you don't want them too close. If you get people too close, they're like stopping at the Airbnb to use the bathroom, which now we try not to give our guys the passcodes. So a
Yeah.
leader lets them in so they can't just like go back to the house after the meeting or in the middle of the day. um, but yeah, normally the goal is to have area within 30 minutes of the Airbnbs. That way
Yeah.
they don't get home too late, because we have a rule that they're not supposed, right now in the summer, it'll change when spring forward comes. But right now the rule is you're not to return back to your Airbnb until 9 p.m., which means you wrap up your last door at 8:30.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's true. I did a blitz. I think it was like a month ago, but yeah, we didn't really have, clear. We brought a kid that was newer with our company, and he paid his way to go. So I'm kind of like, whatever. And we had a couple days where he's like, oh, I'm just going to knock the neighborhood of the Airbnb. And we were all trying to go. He wasn't quite ready. So we're just like, okay, whatever. He paid his way. So I'm not going to force him. And then sure enough, we we came back to Airbnb. I think it was for lunch, and he's like still there taking a nap. we're like, dude, did you even get out? He's like, oh yeah, I got out for a little bit, but it was hot. I needed to come back and take a break. But I knew he had just been like, he just went back to sleep, and he hadn't even gone out. And so, yeah, I'm like, I don't know. We didn't have, so that was one of my mistakes. Is I didn't really lay out. This was a smaller blitz. We only had like 8 people, so it wasn't like a massive group. But we didn't really, like, lay out rules beforehand. It was kind of just free for all, whatever. Most of the guys were experienced, so there was only the one newer guy that we had the issues with. But I'm like, man, I don't know. Maybe we should have laid out some rules or done something to prevent that. So, have you had issues like that in the past where people are coming back and they're not ready, so they just stay out, or if there's stuff like that, you just pretty much it's just like just you go home if you're not gonna be ready to go on time and stuff.
Yeah, we don't really have that problem. Like, because we set out rules like early on, like you should not be at your Airbnbs, and also not giving them the passcode to get into the house. Like,
Yeah.
how you gonna get in, man? Like, you want to sleep in your car outside? Like, good luck. Um, but like, there's been like 2 times ever that we've caught people at the Airbnb, and it's like been our closers that are like building reports.
Yeah.
But we've never come home to somebody just sleeping. Like, if somebody's sick, they're gonna communicate that to leadership right away. Like, hey, I'm sick. I'm not feeling well. And like the rules, like you lock yourself in your bedroom and you don't come out. Like, we're not going
Yeah.
to spread sickness. We've had sickness rip through our houses. Like, if you're going to be sick today, you're going to be sick and you're going to be in your bedroom locked in it, you
Yeah.
know? And I will take all my recruiting calls from the house to make sure you're not doing any funny business, playing video games. Like, you're going to be locked in your room. Like, not that I have to like babysit them or anything, but like that's just where I'll take recruiting calls from for like half the day, And then
Yeah.
if I go out and knock with guys for the last half, like whatever. But no, we don't really have that issue. I think by not having rules, you run into that issue. Like early on, like we set the precedent of like we're here to work, we're not here to mess around. And if you mess up, like we're just going to send you home. Like, no worries. Like, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. Like, but people want to be here and they want to work, and we're not gonna let that rub off on other people. That's not fair to them.
Yeah. That's good. Do you guys do like kind of daily correlations and stuff there? Or what's like your general schedule for getting out? I know you said 8:30 people are knocking their last door. What's the general schedule with like trainings and getting out and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it varies between the winter and spring and summer. So in the summer, we do correlation at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Leaders meet every single day. So my leaders meet every day at 10 a.m. Monday through Saturday, Monday through Friday. So Monday through Friday, they leaders meet at 10. Team meets at 11. We meet 11 to 12. People are in hood by 1. They knock 1 to 8. They get one break throughout the day. Saturdays, we start usually at like 9 to 10 a.m. In the winter, it's 9 because we have less sunlight. In the summer, 10. So that way, guys also have enough time to sleep. And we do that so people have enough time to get to the gym in the morning and like do the things that they need to do, whether that's read, whatever. Um, and then Sundays, we give them the day off. It used to be Mondays because we used to see a lot of success on Sundays, but like we've noticed in Texas, a lot more people go to church and aren't as nice on a Sunday. So we do one day off in the middle of the blitz just to like make sure we don't burn our guys because we run a 14, technically 12 working days, but a 14-day blitz where most people do 10 days. So we do give them a day off in the middle to like reset, do their laundry, go buy food, whatever, to make sure that second half of the week we can like really, really finish strong as a second half team. In the winter, everything dials back 1 hour.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, and then I remember you talking about food, you guys making Costco runs, preparing like breakfast and stuff like that. So is that still like you cover all the food or reps have to like cover part of that or what do you guys do with food? I don't know if any of that's changed now.
So it's a basic starter pack, and what we've learned is like obviously we've learned how to play the credit card game. So like every time that we get food, we Instacart it through whatever because we get 5x points for that. And then when we're booking Airbnbs, we're getting 2 to 3x points depending on which credit card we use for that. So we're actually making money by doing these things for the reps, and we just give them a super basic starter pack. So like they're still gonna have to buy food, but like we'll grab them eggs, bacon, rice, ground beef, and then like a couple protein bars, some bananas, and like clementines and a few other things. So each house we spend like 150 to maybe $200 on food. That we know they have food and they're not like waking up in the middle of the night without anything. Frozen pizzas, pot pies, just easy things. But they're still going to have to shop for themselves. But it's also to the point where like if they worked their ass off all day and they didn't have a car and didn't have time to get to the store, there will be food at the house provided for them.
Okay.
So we do provide food, but we're not like going crazy. And then how we'll incentivize them is like we will cook for them. Like we'll make them breakfast 1 or 2 days of the blitz, and we'll cook them like a team dinner 1 or 2 nights of the blitz. But it has to be earned. We put out a goal. You have to hit the goal. And sometimes like if we have leftover food, we're like, hey, whoever gets a lead today, you guys can get off the doors at 6. And come eat. You get first dibs. We just cooked up all that's left of the food, and then if you didn't get a lead, you're going to be out there till 7:30, and you get the scraps. So it like really gets people to like push and work to come eat the food. And we make sure that they eat well and they're taken care of. We've
Yeah.
had people go to the hospital at the very beginning for like not having proper water intake and like not eating, and that's when we were like, holy shit! Like if these guys don't have stuff, they just like won't take care of themselves. Like let's just make sure they have the basics so that isn't a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's true. And you get some people that maybe don't have money at all where it's like I don't know if you ran into that, but I've had guys on Blitz where they literally can't afford food. It's like they're eating what the team eats and they don't have money to get food. So, no, it's good that the guys are hustling. And something I remember, another thing I remember, Melissa, in your presentation, you guys do a lot of stuff beforehand. Sounds like before the Blitz starts with like Zoom trainings, getting out like the rules, the script to people. So how soon does the preparation start for a blitz? Are you guys still doing the same stuff, like Zoom trainings and things like that before the blitz starts? Or what do you guys have? What do you have the reps get on and be prepared for before they come to the blitz the first day?
Yeah, so we have commitment mode up until about a week and a half before the next blitz starts. Once we cut off commitment mode, automated texts go out through Go High Level. So they'll be like, hey, if you're receiving this text message, it means you've committed to the XYZ blitz. Here are your mandatory training dates. So it'll send them out a schedule for their mandatory training dates. And then it'll also send them out our website. We built our own password protected website that has everything that they could need for the blitz, from agendas to training to like trainings that we've recorded, how to put in a proper appointment on the calendar, how to submit their lead on the CRM. And their first call is really just going through the market and going through that website so they know how to use it. So they'll have that about a week before the blitz starts. Their second training will be script practice. So they would have gotten their script sent out through automations about a week before that training. So they should have it memorized. And then we bring all of our leaders on that call, and they go into different groups on Zoom, and they have to pitch. And then something else that we just implemented is we actually, our owner is one who created Call Pilot. So we've been able to take Call Pilot, send it out to all the reps, make them do their script to the AI. After they do it to the AI, we send it through ChatGPT. We've now trained our ChatGPTs how to give them proper feedback. After they've done it, we're sending them their feedback. And we're telling them like, hey, either you passed or you failed on that script practice. And if they failed, they're going to have to pitch a manager before they go out to the doors their first day. And then their final call is just like, hey, these are your housing assignments. These are your car groups. This is your airport pickup times. This is who's getting who. These are the leaders. These are their phone numbers. This is what they're in charge of. Any questions. And like throughout the week, they're getting automated text messages to make sure they've completed onboarding and things like that. So we didn't always have that, but now we've like dialed in the process, and we've spent a lot of time building our website. Luckily, we have Cass on our team who used to do web development. So she's built us our own website, and every blitz we change the password so people can't like go back and try to if
Mm,
they want to recreate it, they can. That's the whole point of why we built the blitz model, is to like help other teams.
yeah.
But it's also like our proprietary information that like we are the collective, and regardless of where we go, we have our proprietary information for us. It's not owned by the company. It's not Glide's website. It's ours.
Yeah. That's fire. And then is that training, those trainings are only for the new reps, and then anyone that's returning, they're just not required to be on those, or do you guys have like separate stuff for like brand new people to the blitzes versus returning people, or how does that work?
That's a really good question. So the first training is just for new players. Script practice, like we have really good team players that we still want them on the script practice because like they're going to help give feedback to the new guys and also like see the difference of like someone who's been crushing it to like someone who might be new. So the returning players are on the second and third call, but not the first one. And then we do a boot camp the first day that they come in, and we just go through super basic info for like the first 45 minutes. And then like returning players, like y'all get out of here. People that are new stay around for a little bit longer to make sure like you're, in sales rabbit, you know how to go into core, you know how to do everything. So that's kind of how we've done it, and it's worked out pretty well. But yeah, for some of these guys, it can be repetitive. At first, we were like making the returning players do all the same things as the new guys. And now we've realized like they don't need to sit through the whole boot camp. They don't need to go through the first training at all. They've been through this.
Yeah.
We're getting better and better at that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, well, it seems like a lot of people, I see you guys seem to have a lot of returning um, players, a lot of returning people that come and keep doing repeat blitzes. I think just because of these organization, the systems you guys have, you guys create a good culture, good experience. So, what would you say? Do you see like trends where it's like 50% returning, or what's the general like, I don't know, percentage of returning people versus new people on your blitzes?
This blitz are all returning except for one. We tried to like before I used to like try to get a ton of new people, and that's where it was like about a 50-50, and we realized like we were just draining ourselves as leaders like trying to get everyone up to speed. So now we try to keep returning players about 75% and 25% new people, so that way we can
Okay.
build well and not like burn ourselves out and pour so much into these people that are never going to come back.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of new people, before we wrap up here, Melissa, I know we're getting towards the tail end of this. You told me that you've recruited, I mean, you've shifted from selling now primarily to recruiting. And so, since you've been doing this, how many reps would you say you've recruited on these blitzes?
I'm on the year, I've got to be at a little over 200 reps total.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, so replacing sales for humans now, which is interesting, and it's tough because recruiting is a way longer game than sales. Like sales, you're sitting
Yeah.
down, you're making a sale in 2 hours. Like some of these people, they're not. I just got a recruit that I've been working on for a year. Like it takes a while. They're
Yeah.
not. They don't just bite right away.
Yeah. That's true. And that's where it takes a lot of organization, because I've seen a lot of recruits over the years that I think I could have gotten if I would have just stayed in touch with them. Some of the best recruiters I've seen that are getting really high level recruits is they have, spreadsheets or something that's saying, okay, I need to follow up with this person once a month, and they're kind of putting them in different buckets. So, I mean, I want to talk about recruiting. That's pretty much the best I've heard. 200 recruits. That's an insane number. So, what are some things you're doing to maybe stay organized with recruits, and what are some recruiting secrets before we wrap up the podcast, Melissa?
Yeah, so I created a job form, which you've probably seen me share a million times,
Yeah.
but that captures everybody's information that fills it out. So like I have people that like filled out that job form like a year ago that like maybe timing wasn't right. Like yesterday, I sent out 20 text messages from that job form being like, hey, like I know timing wasn't right. We're putting together a mega blitz at the end of the year. We'd love to have you on it. Um, and that's one way, right? It like keeps everybody's information super, super organized. But on top of that, like I have my sheet from every blitz. Every blitz, I have a sheet of everyone who's come, their phone number, their email, everything. And I have whether they made it on the blitz or whether they didn't. So like I can also go through those sheets and I have all of their information. So I've just been able to keep it. And then I just, follow up with them when you have time. Like it takes 2 seconds to send out a text message and check in with someone. It really doesn't take a long time. So I just still have all their information, and that's what I do. But the job form has been game changer. I use Google Forms, and it has everybody's information in one place, and there's like almost 100 people's contact information on there.
Wow. Okay. Right. Is it just mostly social media and stuff? I mean, I've seen you post a lot of the links and everything. It seems like you guys get a lot of success through that. So is that your main thing? Is just kind of sharing them on Instagram, saying, "Oh, we got this amount of spots left," or anything else you guys do to get leads for recruiting?
It's 100%, at least for my recruits, 100% social media. Some of the other leaders, our company offers like a recruiting, like they recruit for you and you just pay for ad spend, and like we pay a recruiter to interview them. And some of them do that through Indeed, but like the company always bugs me being like, you should be doing Indeed. And I'm like, I don't need to. I've recruited more than everybody and it has been free. Like all of it is organic. I did have to pour money into my brand. So don't like, if you're listening to this, like, don't think, oh, I can just post on social media and it's free. Like you need to create your brand and you need to invest in that, which Taylor, I know you've had to do the same thing, but that will recruit for you.
Yeah.
So all of it's been through social media, and then like people hearing me on podcasts, which then follow me on social media. And I've just always been an open book. So even if people message me, like I've responded to every single DM that has ever been sent to me, unless someone's trying to sell me something. Like I respond to every single person. And like I genuinely care about people, whether they work with me or not. And I've always been a proponent of like, just come on my blitz, learn what we're doing, and go implement it at your company. We've seen three different teams come on our blitzes and pick up our model, and they're crushing it, dude. I've seen them do like half a megawatt to a megawatt of blitz because they're doing the same exact things that we taught them. And that's also how we've picked up teams, is like they come out, they tell me, hey, I'm never going to work for your company. I will never be on your team. And I'm like, perfect, wonderful, love it. Like let's teach you everything that we know, and then like I will be in the corner cheering for you as hard as I can. And they're
Wow.
like, what? Like, what do you mean? You know?
Wow. Yeah, it's refreshing because most people don't think like that. Yeah, it's super rare to see people that are like, "Oh, people aren't gonna like commit with this long term. If I think they might go back and take this to their company, then they won't even let them on a blitz." And it's cool to see that you've done the opposite. And um, I think, yeah, I'm sure there's been a few teams that have gone and implemented it, but it's like, I'm sure the growth you've seen from it is like 10x maybe the people that have gone and become competitors or whatever. I'm sure you get way more people in good karma and stuff by having that mindset than like living like, oh, what if they take it back to their teams? And I think people like that stunt their growth. Um, and you get just the difference between the abundance mentality versus, thinking scarcity and all that. So no, that's really cool to see. Um, and yeah, I know you guys got some really solid leaders, like Earl. He used to work with me, Earl Kapule. You've attracted some really solid people that, yeah, and even some people that I've seen on other teams where I've seen them not produce as much, maybe been bouncing around, and then I've seen them come work with you guys, and they're going on multiple blitzes, coming back, and they're producing at a way higher level than I saw on different teams. So I'm like, man, um, got a solid system, and guys are like excited to work out there, and seems like you guys are crushing it. So
Yeah.
no, that's it's cool to see. Anything else you want to say about that, about recruiting, or is it pretty much simple as that?
No, I think just, if you want to see things in the industry change, it starts with you. Like everybody wants to see people be more abundant. It starts with you. Like that's just how I see it.
Yeah, yeah, love that. Yeah, well, Melissa, speaking of blitzing, if people want to come, before we end the show, if people do want to come to a blitz, want to give some value to you too, as much as I'd want to have people come on my blitzes, you can hit me up too, but I know Melissa's gonna have things more dialed. than me for sure at the time. So if people do want to blitz with you, what's the best? I mean, we can put like your link for your blitzes in the show notes. But
Yeah,
anything you want to point them to if they want to come and try a blitz with you guys?
there's a Google form in my bio on Instagram. My bio on Instagram is just Melissa Romiza, Melissa and there's a jot form in there. And like I said, like there's no strings attached. Like you could be working for another company. I don't expect you to just drop your company and come work with us, but there's definitely a lot to learn and some really great connections you can make for the rest of your life.
Yeah, love it. And then if people do come on blitz, what would you say are like the average results for the guys that are sticking out the blitz? What's they typically getting 2+ cells, or what's kind of like
I'd say
average person coming on your blitz getting?
like 3 to 4, and our average commission where we are right now has gone up to like 9 grand a commission. So the setters are making like 40% of that. So, 4 to 5 grand. Oh, there's my dog.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, they're making like four-ish thousand dollars per deal. So like 12-ish thousand dollars per blitz. I'd say on average, our highest earner has made right around $100,000 in a blitz.
holy cow! Yeah, that's crazy. Your dog's excited to be on the podcast. He's like, "This
Yeah.
is gotta wrap this up."
Yeah.
Getting to him. Do you usually bring your dog on the podcast or sorry, on the blitzes?
Always. I used to not, but then I realized like I have dogs for a reason, and it's to have them with me. Let's see if
Yeah.
I let him out. He stops barking, but I used to not bring them, and then after like the fourth blitz, it got really sad, and I wanted them here. So now I drive them down to Texas, and I've got 4 of them, and it's definitely a lot, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Well, so do you see this continuing, Melissa? I know we kind of touched on this before we started recording, but for the future, do you think you guys are gonna keep blitzing like indefinitely, or where do you see the future of your teams and the company going?
As of right now, that is like all our future is focused on is blitzing. And the 2 main markets we plan to focus on is Texas and California, or Northern California. I know you're in San Diego.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's the biggest thing is growing leaders and like basically building around them. That's what I've been doing for the company is we bring leaders in and I just plot people where they are a best fit. And you just have to be good at we call it handling the monkeys,
yeah,
taking care of the circus.
yep. Delegation. So, um, yeah, and I love that too. You're not trying to do everything. You got leaders that are handling specific tasks. I remember in your presentation, you put everyone over kind of a different aspect of the blitz. Have your core leaders. So yeah, I mean, I guess just to wrap up, what are some of like the ways you delegate? What are the leaders you have on the blitzes, and how do you delegate? What's some examples of the delegation you do when it comes to the blitzes now?
Yeah, so Alex handles area, which area is a lot for anywhere from 30 to 50 people per blitz.
Yeah,
Kayla handles all the closers and the closer training. Abby assists her in the closer training, so like pre-closer training. Earl helps with automation and scripts, um, and slicks, so he puts together all the slicks. Luke handles making sure Alex also handles getting people onboarded for our canvassing app, so like our sales rabbit. Luke handles making the slicks, making sure everyone knows how to use core and the calendar, getting the calendar out and making sure people are trained on the calendar. And Cass does everything tech. So making sure people are in the Discord, building the website. I handle recruiting and housing and car groups. Um, yeah. And like when one of us isn't on a blitz, like we all know how to do each other's job, which I think is really, really important. And we all band together. So
yeah,
we've delegated it out. It sounds like not a lot of responsibilities, but the more responsibilities you give somebody, the more half-assed they are. So it's worked
yeah.
out really well for us.
That's awesome. And then average amount of people on a blitz. What's your typical head count on these blitzes?
20 to 30 on every blitz.
Okay, and do you cap it at like 30 people, or
Usually, yeah, we try to, unless it's a mega blitz, we really don't want more than 30 people on our blitzes. We've realized like housing wise and also like managing wise, it's just we
yeah,
can't pour into people the way we'd want to if it's more than 30.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and dropping some knowledge on us. Hopefully, you'll have some people hitting you up. I mean, I might come and blitz myself. Got me fired up to go see
Heck
what's
yeah,
going
man,
on.
anytime. You're always
So,
welcome.
yeah, I appreciate that. So we'll blast this out. Thank you for, as always, just having that abundance mentality, holding nothing back. You can tell that you don't try to, hide anything. You're just a source of knowledge, source of abundance. So we appreciate that. And yeah, we'll have to have you on back again. Always a pleasure having you. But thanks again for dropping some bombs on us today, Melissa.
Yeah, thanks, Taylor.
Okay. All right. We'll talk soon.